your spirit ground.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Warm Embers. I took a week off. As an entrepreneur, we're always hustling, and my guest knows most about that because she is an entrepreneur, a baddie first and foremost. And you can see her designs on Instagram, and she's going to tell us more about it. So, welcome, Snowy. I'm so glad you're here with me. I just want to go into your journey, who you are. You're just amazing.
Hello, hi, my name is Shaydee Snowy Pretends Eagle. My introduction in my Lakota language is Ha mitaku yapi iyokpian wachian kapi. Mani wakan oyate hemataha wawayu pikawi het miye. Um, I said where I was from. So my mom is from Spirit Lake Nation. That's where my Dakota side comes from. And then my father is from Standing Rock, and that's where my Lakota side comes from. And under the Seven Council Fires, I am Hunk Papa. And then my Lakota name is Wawayu Pikawi. And that translates in English as artistic woman. And that was given to me by my grandma when I was about 4 years old.
Oh my God,
And I am
go ahead.
okay, and I am 27, and yes, I am an artist, a designer, a dancer, model. We do our own photography. We just do whatever we could really get our hands on.
Well, you sure are doing it big and doing it amazing because your photography styling, your photos that you have been, because I was going through your Instagram from way back, have always been very good, like magazine aesthetic, because I think that as an entrepreneur, we have to put our best foot forward. So, how long have you been dancing powwow? And tell us about your background in powwow and your style.
For sure. So when I started out, my mom really wanted me to be a dancer. And so as soon as I was a tiny tot, as soon as I could stand upright on my own, I was dancing. And I grew up going to powwows constantly. And at first, my junior years, I was a fancy shawl dancer. And then when I was a teen, I transitioned into jingle, and I've been jingle up until present day. And growing up, I really didn't pick what I was going to be dancing. My mom just kind of dressed me up from when I was a little girl. And I just hung on. I ended up developing a love for those things, for being contemporary jingle dress dancer. And I also used to do the all around specials. So there's love for all different parts, like traditional, fancy, jingle. But I would say contemporary jingle is for sure my home.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Your outfits that you make for yourself and for others are just so beautiful. Like your eye, the name your grandmother gave you just fits perfectly because your eye is artistic, just like the color palettes. Because I don't think people realize how much work we put into choosing color palettes, what looks good together, and like how things lay and the shape that the stuff we create makes. So when you make your powwow outfits and make the ones for others, they just look so good.
Thank you. Well, when I was younger and I first started beading and so everywhere, I used to really overthink. I used to really, really overthink, and I realized that that was almost kind of holding me back a little bit. So when I got into my older, I think my third set, I was like, I'm just gonna bead whatever comes to mind, and it came out just beautiful. And I realized that was kind of something for me. I was like, okay, just cruise, especially on these larger pieces, whatever comes to your mind, whatever comes to your hands. And that's what my mom said as well. She was like, your grandma knew who you were before you did, and you really were able to live up to that name. So that makes me really happy that I hold that name.
Yeah, it's so good. It reflects who you are. So do you go to like all the different powwows like in Seattle? I think they have a big one, and Saquon, I saw you at the fashion show. Have you been to the powwow there?
Yeah, we actually stayed out there. We were like, it's so close because we have a powwow here in my hometown at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Love going to that one, but I knew that we were going to be going to Saquon, and the powwow was that very weekend after.
Uh-huh.
That was our first time out there in California, actually.
Okay.
And we enjoyed it. It was super fun. It was new. It was beautiful seeing the mountains, and how just getting out there was just a journey. It was beautiful.
So I met, to go back, I met Snowy at a Saquon fashion show where she absolutely knocked it out of the park. It was so beautiful. And I first started following you because of your harnesses. I thought that was so, I'd never seen anyone create that before. And I was like, this is so cool. So, are you showing more of your harnesses? Do you want to go into Saquon fashion show?
Sure. So, kind of the origin of the body chains, right? Because my first, when I was learning my content and whatnot, I was lucky and fortunate enough to kind of have a photographer as soon as I was 18.
Ooh,
We
okay.
did work as soon as I was, as my, on my birthday, actually, my 18th birthday, we started doing photo shoots. And that was kind of like, I was underneath my photographer for a very long time. And then there was kind of a break where he moved out to California and was doing his own thing. And then we were actually going to a powwow. And I had this really nice outfit, but it was all one color. And I was like looking around at the malls. I was going to these stores and I was like, there's no jewelry that fit me or like I felt really good in. And I was also creating my regalia at the same time. And then finally, the little light bulb went off, and I was like, "You could make something for yourself." You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
not regalia, but as almost like a designer piece or an accent piece. And that's how I guess the body chain was born, and it did really well. Someone bought it right off of me, like off of my body, and so I was like, "Oh, I could just make another one." And so then that's kind of how it got going.
That is so cool. Even to this day, I have not seen, which is good because I noticed a lot of times people copy people. And so the fact that I haven't seen anybody else do that, I think it's just a testament to your craft. And it's really beautiful. So
Thank
how
you
did
so
you,
much.
yeah, so how did you learn like your quill work, your beadwork?
So it's a little bit more of I guess a little bit of a tougher story when I talk about my beadwork because it was actually when I was 12, 13 years old, and my mom, she gave me what I needed to do it, right? So she helped me with the beads, the thread, the needle, the tying of the knots, but that was it. You know, she took a step back and it ended up becoming a very beautiful way of teaching someone because I remember like crying and being frustrated and just struggling like why is my beads lumpy, why is my thread like why like, and as much as I'm sure my mom wanted to help me, she didn't, she kind of refused to. And then eventually I figured it out, and I figured out how to do it on my own. And I'm so thankful. It was such a hard lesson at a young age, but I'm so thankful now because I don't ever question my beadwork. I don't ever question my own work because I know where it came from. And it came just from me and my ambition and the will to want to learn. And it's amazing journey because we started out with beadwork and now we do just an array of things. We work with parfleche, we do leather, we do dentillium, beadwork, we do quill work, we do sewing, we do trade cloth, just really anything that we could get our hands on as far as like a supply, we will absolutely work with. And if we don't know how to, we'll figure out how to.
Wow. So I think your mom just did you, it's kind of like on the res how they say, oh, the way I learned to swim was they just tossed me in the the pond, and figured make sure I didn't drown. But I think that's so good because it's just taught you resilience. You didn't give up. And then it taught you how to figure out like when you first doing beadwork, like this isn't laying right. So then you were able to figure out how the beads lay properly your own way. Because I think sometimes when we learn from someone else, we're trying to figure out how, see it through their eyes and not our own. So, which I think opens you up for your whole vision. Because, like I said, your stuff is so good. Color schemes, even the dentallium, what do you call them? Like breastplates?
Yeah, breastplates, hair ties. We just recently did a dentillium cape. Man, those are a lot of time. It's just like you got to just shaving them, and then also learning to also protect yourself, right? So wearing like a respirator
Yeah.
glasses, if you need to, like headphones, anything that can make sure you don't get like a shard in the eye or anything, or breathing in any of that dust as well.
I know just because I make dentalium earrings and like to use the buffalo horn spacers for mine. And then I was reading something and they're like, oh, make sure you use a respirator. I was like, oh, I've been doing this for so long.
Like, what? I was like, okay.
Yes. I was like, okay, but that's really good that you have the personal protection equipment. So when you're doing all of the shaving them down and you use sinew, is that what you use to hold
Yeah,
them?
so with the dentilium, we use sinew. We've used fishing wire and sinew.
Uh-huh.
Um, any type of like strong, durable, just stuff because we know those like we don't want those to fall apart or break or anything. Our recent project that is probably the most intimidating right now is we are working on getting into pink conch.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and so a lot of my friends who do it, they're like, just be really careful, move slow, be in a well ventilated area.
Yes.
Um, it's so intimidating just because you never know how they're going to cut, but we're
Uh-huh.
excited that right now.
That is so cool. So you're gonna cut your own designs into the pink conch? Wow, that's such a big deal. I know that when I was dancing as a teenager, a lot of people use those, like the heart shape, the round shape, and then it seemed like it kind of went away, but I see it coming back a little bit. But that's so cool that you're gonna make your own designs. See, that's I think you approach things different from I think other people in that you're not looking at what is somebody else doing. You're looking at how can I take this to another level? How can I use this material and make it my own?
Yes, we have lots of fun in our office. We have one back room and we have a different station for like every day. And it's really nice because like if I need a break from beadwork, like I'll practice my tattooing. I have a tattoo kit. Like I just everything that I could
Yay!
we'll do for fun just to keep the stimulation and everything.
No way, you're a tattoo artist too?
Starting out, all of these are like the pink conch, the tattooing, all of this stuff is very fairly new to me.
Mm,
Um, kind of exploring, kind of getting our foot in the door with those art,
art,
those
yeah.
art.
Uh-huh. Yes, that is so good. That is I think in Native community. So I was trying to get into gallery spaces for my art. But when I did a lot of research on it, they really want you just to focus like, oh, if you're going to be a painter, we just want you to be a painter. You can't do anything else. But I feel like in the Native community, we're like, no, I want to paint, I want to do fashion, I want to do jewelry, and I think that's just a testament to who we are and showcase our work. So we are chatting a little bit beforehand, and I loved your approach to the art that you're making. Like you wanted to push it and then see like in 100 years, 200 years from now, what it'll look like. So I love your outlook on that and your thought process behind that. So if you could share that again, that would be great.
Um, for sure. When I first started making stuff that it was mainly just for me, I just wanted to make stuff for me to wear. And if it applied to somebody else or somebody else liked it, then that was my biggest like it was awesome to take something like that away if somebody liked my artwork. Particularly like I know like these chain pendants is something that like I see more in like silver shops and like are they all silver and diamonds and stuff. And they're really expensive, right? So like the little tiny real pendants run upwards to like 5,000, So
Uh-huh.
like something like of this caliber would be a little like would be crazy, you know?
Yes.
And I really wanted to combine kind of like modern day because I've done like music videos and I've noticed like that aura and that aesthetic has a lot of like chains and watches and just things that I also like as well, right? So being indigenous and then also living in a modern very modern concept. And also, just so many of us are becoming rappers. We have friends who are rappers or people who are in production. You know what I mean? We're just so cool. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so this is kind of like a combination of like I'm always going to be indigenous no matter what. You know, I'm going to bring that with me no matter what happens, you know. Um, I just wanted to contribute it into something that I like and I could wear even in like the music videos and the photo shoots and stuff like that and every day.
Yes, that is so beautiful. You just showcased that, I think not too long ago, and it was amazing. I was like, look at this. It's because it's quill work, and then you have
Yes.
beadwork, and then you have the chain.
Yes. And yes, we have like a little bit of like a little genuine ivory and a little stag tooth and then a little gem. And then yeah, it's just hooked to a regular Cuban link.
Uh-huh. So beautiful. I think that piece right there melds how we look at ourselves as indigenous artists, because you have our traditional art, and then you have the contemporary with the chain, and how we are taking our place in American culture. So that's the point of my podcast, is I want to showcase artists, and I want us to platform onto American culture to where maybe you'll have a collab with Zales or something, you know, like we want to take our space and actually shoot for the stars, and not just be known in our community, but in American culture.
Exactly, for sure.
So, with your baddie energy and your baddie style, how do you approach confidence?
You know, I think I kind of always had it when I was like little. Like so when I was like in elementary school going into middle school, I remember getting ready to go to school and I came out and my mom was like, you don't want to take some stuff off because I came out and I had a headband on and I had barrettes in and I had big ears and the necklace and hand gloves. Like I was killing it from the time I was like 10 years old. And I always like that stuff from when I was like a little girl, and I think it still kind of holds today because I still love jewelry, still love flashy stuff. So I think also facing judgment through like elementary school, middle school, but also realizing like this is just what I like, you know, this is just what I like, and this is who I am. And there were moments throughout my life where I tried to tone it down. You know, I tried to just be like less than who I felt comfortable with. And finally, you know, you get to an age where I'm just kind of like, this life isn't forever. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to dress how I want to dress and what makes me feel confident. So I guess I maybe always had it since I was like a little girl.
That is so cute though, coming out with all your stuff. You're just like, I'm ready to go. I love that. Yeah, because it really reflects in your style. You're very stylish, and I love that. You're not definitely not wearing the basketball shorts and conference t-shirt to go swimming. We always laugh, because like I guess my generation is just like a lot of conference t-shirts and like oversized basketball shorts.
We have those as well. But
Okay. Okay. So, when was Saquon your first fashion show, or had you done other ones?
you know, Saquon was actually our most recent fashion show. Um, our very first fashion show was actually in 2023, and it was actually Oklahoma City Fashion Show. It was put on by Keyshawn Bread. She put it on.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got picked to be one of the three accessory designers to come.
That's so cool. Yeah, Pashan has the House of Satai, or Sutai. But yes, her stuff is amazing too. I think she's just going like above and beyond. I would say you two are both like the same platform, because you guys come out with big energy, lots of thought put into your process.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your dream fashion show? Or do you have other fashion shows coming up?
We do have one fashion show coming up, and that is going to be in Oregon. I believe it's the Northwest. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Northwest West Coast Fashion Show, something like that. We got invited to that, so that's in September. We'll probably check it out, go see what's up. We've never been to Oregon, so we're
Uh-huh.
really excited to be. It's really amazing to be able to travel and go to the places like I've never thought that I would see, Like when I went to Saquon, I had no idea it was that like close to
Uh-huh.
the border. I had never been that far down there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's only like probably 20 minutes from the border, I think.
Crazy. That was just crazy. It was in a good way. We were very excited. It just kind of kept getting deeper and deeper. And then being from North Dakota, right? The plains are just kind of flat and
Uh-huh.
it's very flat. So it was a good journey.
Okay, so what does a dream collab look like for Snowy?
This was actually the toughest question for me because I was thinking like, man, that was such a good question. I was very fortunate and we were very blessed to be able to collaborate very early on with tons of people. I think it was there's good and bad, right, to being an accessory designer depending on which fashion show you get into. And so our very first fashion show, we were kind of optional, right? So nobody had to use us.
Okay.
And like, oh my gosh, what if we don't get up there? We traveled, we came all this way. What if we don't get used? And that was totally, we understood, right? That's what could be a thing if we go. Um, and so I started making I had to just go and talk to all the designers, and I was so shy because it was my first fashion show. I'm very, very thankful to be able to collaborate with so many indigenous clothing designers. Um, but I would honestly say what I would love it would be so cool to collaborate with brats.
Oh, yes.
Um,
I could see that.
yes, I have a ton of them hanging up on my wall, and I always took away the passion for fashion, and I still have them in my office. So I think that would be like one of my biggest dream collabs.
Oh my God, I love that. And I could totally see that because your the way you put your looks together and your photos, I can see that. Come on, universe, let's get her a collab with Bratz. Maybe for like Native American Heritage Month or something.
That'd be
That would
cool.
be, that would be. I like how you're going. So, as an entrepreneur, we have to go and we have to like do all the reach outs and connect with people and network with people. And when you're shy, it's kind of like, oh, excuse me, right? But I think that's one of the skills that is you really have to refine and work on because when I reach it, like when I reached out to you, it's just like, well, I hope they respond, and but it's putting that out there. Like, what do you think when you network and connect with people? What is a tip or something that you think about?
One thing that I told myself, and I would also tell others, is like, don't be scared. Do not like, don't be scared. Because I remember feeling a little scared, but it was just due to me being shy, naturally quiet. I'm more on the reserved side. But in my heart and in my mind, I really wanted to see my stuff on the stage in my earlier years.
Uh-huh.
So I just was like, I just stood up. I was like, keep your head up, just go. They're just humans. We're humans, go talk to them. And it was the best thing I could have done for myself because there was very reciprocated energy from the clothing designers in a very good way. And I'm so fortunate to collaborate with the very first show I was able to, and I'm just trying to go off of memory, but I know for sure one was JG Indie.
Oh
I was able
yeah.
to collaborate with him.
Uh-huh. He's been around for a while. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, what was that other one? It was, I believe it was like sunflower. oh, I can't remember. She used a lot of my stuff, and she had even like a cool cowboy look.
Okay.
And so, and then Millie, Stitched by Millie, I believe, was our very first, I think, our three or four collaborations. But they were very welcoming. And then by the time the end of that year in 2023, we were in the Owang Washte Wimani fashion show in
Oh,
Rapid
yes.
City.
Uh-huh. I've heard of that one. Yeah.
And it was such a blessing. There we were able to collaborate with like K Looking Horse, Choke
Mhm.
Cherry Creek. Biggest one was we really got to dress a good amount of models for Sweet Sage Woman.
Okay, yes.
And then that was where we actually ran into just my good friend. I just so thankful for her. Bitter Water for Red House.
Oh, yes.
Miss
Uh-huh.
She went and she was looking kind of like at maybe something she could use in her part of the fashion show, and she picked out this oversized, this bougie hat, and it fit perfectly with her stuff. And I cannot thank Michelle enough for bringing me into so many spaces that I may have not seen. And I don't want to like get emotional, but it's just kind of like
Oh,
I could not be more thankful for Michelle because I got to experience just amazing, amazing um, experiences just by being invited by her. So that meant a lot.
yes. Oh, sweet. Her stuff is so immaculate. She does the corsets with the I don't know where she gets her fabric, but it's the traditional designs. And then a lot of her stuff has been worn on the red carpets. So
Mm-hmm.
I was doing like a little fashion thing where I would review like I did Lily Gladstone, Paulina Alexis, and she wore like a lot of her stuff. And then I was looking at Devery Jacobs, and then I think she wore some of her stuff. So that's so cool that you were able to collab. And it seems like your styles overlap too. Like for social media as an entrepreneur, how do you because you talked about your beadwork that you just kind of do it like intuitively, like let the design come to you. So with your social media, because you're quite active on there, and I think that's so important because I see a lot of people have a hard time coming up with what they're going to post or their content. But you seem like you've got a hold of it and you're just like posting and they're all really quality content. So, do you want to go into how you do that? Because I think that's a special power.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, for sure. So it actually this kind of getting the hang of it is really recent and really new. For all the years that I've had it, I was really like trying to post like three at a time. I was really like trying to think about it and just put like a lot of thought into it. And I finally was just kind of like, I really want my audience to just kind of see who I am. And I'm like, I have to not think about like if it's the wrong time of the day or if it's the algorithm, certain things that like do come into play a little bit. But at the same time, it's like I'm just decorating it. I just look at it as like I'm decorating my social media, and I'm like, okay, this would look really good here. This post would look really here, and yeah.
That is you. You have such a unique point of view now that we're talking and sharing because I don't think a lot of people take that perspective of like looking at what you've already posted and then um planning your content as a holistic like this is who I am. This is the brand Snowy.
Yes, and then just decorate, just like not taking too seriously, and then just decorating it how I would want it to be presented. I try not to think too much into it.
I think that's probably the best advice that people should have is like don't overthink it because you can get like when they talk about the algorithm and the likes and this and that it's a lot. I think your approach is really healthy because then you're not taking it too serious.
Yes.
Yeah, because I hope everybody listening goes check out her Instagram because it is so good. It's your photos of you, your projects, and just kind of like a peek into your life, like the powwows. So I think it's so good.
Thank you. Yes, we kind of had this year, we had a little bit of a content change just because I'm working on kind of like a really large time consuming project. And I'm working on a women's Northern traditional outfit.
Uh-huh.
And that's the fully beaded top and everything. And when I was working on the beaded top, I stopped posting on social media for like a month and a half because I thought like I had no content. Because I was like, this isn't finished. This is gonna take forever to finish. And so then I was kind of like, okay, I really don't want to leave my social medias hanging. But I still have tons of like larger size projects that I will be working on.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay, I kind of have to change my content just slightly so that way I have stuff to post that's not just art. So I'm like really took a look at what else I do, you know? So I was like, okay, doing modeling, doing kind of like lifestyle stuff, mostly just for this year as I'm trying to finish these projects. So I don't know, it might change next year.
But
But
I
yeah.
think that's important to keep it changing because uh you don't want to get stagnant, but you also don't want to change so often that people get kind of confused, but you want to build your community slowly. And I think as an entrepreneur, that's what you're showing us is like, this is who she is. But then you don't want to like change up all the time because people are like, who is this and what are they doing now, you know?
Yes, yes, I've gotten a couple questions recently because I was like, okay, we are having a content change just for now, just to like I could get these large size projects. And you want to hand me it, Cece? This is what it looks like right now, and this is just one of my leggings. The big piece is done. But this is how it looks right now.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Is that porcupine quills? Like the long,
Yeah, in this one.
so beautiful.
It also has the bungle beads and then the seed beads, and then we have some of the pink, Cheyenne pink from the late
Oh,
1800s for
yeah.
detail. And then recently, yeah, I had some new followers who were kind of like, so what is your brand? What do you do? And I'm just like, right now it's just snow. It's kind of everything snow. And then it'll probably be something else next year.
Yes. Well, that is you uh whip out your stuff so fast. I'm like, she's so quick. Well, because it takes me a while to do like the shaving down the dentalium and then like matching the sizes and then I was like, you knocked out a few breastplates so fast. I'm like, man, she's quick.
Yeah, for like when it comes to like those shells and stuff, man, we started posting it, but a lot of times what people don't see is we'll dedicate a whole day to just fitting, cutting, and doing the shells first.
Uh-huh.
And no matter how long that takes, so like 3, 4 days. So that way when we start, man, we could just start cruising once we get everything ready.
That's a good idea. So you've worked out your method. So that's good. I mean, I think that's so smart because I'll sit down with a design in mind and then I'll put the pieces out and then I start. So, but I'm only doing like a few pieces for a drop or for gifts or something. But that's smart to do those. Those are so big. And they're so pretty. But yeah, and the your beadwork too is really fast. Because you were showing your something on your Instagram, and then I think the next thing I'm just like, she just is whipping this out. So what is do you have like Spotify playlists that keep you going?
Oh my goodness, all of it. Yes. So I have like podcast series, I have series on Netflix, I have music, and then sometimes it's just pure silence because I'm just kind I won't even like pick up that the Netflix will be like, "Are you still watching?" Or YouTube will be like, "Are you still listening?" And I'm just like, and I won't even notice that in silence. I'm like, "Holy cow, I need to chill."
Oh my gosh, you are locked in. You're just like stitch and stitch and stitch. Oh my gosh. So what is your tip for not getting your fingers caught by the needle? I've done that before.
I used to be really big on getting my nails done. I loved getting my nails done, and now I just better to keep them cut and clean because it works better for me. It's a little bit faster for me. Pick up the beads easier depending on how you're picking up the beads. Um, it's really it's a little piece of life that I enjoy looking at my hands and seeing kind of like the wear and tear as I get older. And I observe my hands a lot, and like I have like a little callus like right here. And I
Oh,
have scarring from the pushing the needle through right here, and then scars from like on my fingernail from pushing it in through there. And I just love them. I almost like really enjoy these imperfections because thinking of all the art that came from my hands, it's a beautiful thing for sure.
that's such a beautiful sentiment because I feel like American culture, we have to, and I think it's like American exceptionalism where we think we have to be perfect or everything that we post has to be perfect or that has to be this level of, oh, when I uh post something or if I go on like my TikToks, I have to have a filter or but knowing what who we are and that so like you said the different calluses or whatnot come from the art and the beauty we've created. I think that's such a great sentiment and we should live by that more instead of like trying to be so perfect. I have nails, but I was doing a grad cap this year and I had to take them off too because I can't it just takes too long with these.
Yeah, that's what I found out too, because it's just a little bit more quicker. But there's some baddies out there who could do either or, and
Uh,
I wish I could, but I'm not.
You are a baddie, but with your style, you move faster without them. Okay, so what are projects you're currently working on? Do you want to share whether it's like beadwork or something with like you were talking about like rappers and their videos or
Yeah, we are kind of doing an array of different projects. Our biggest issue is just kind of finding ways to compartmentalize to give each one kind of like of our attention. So like right now, I'm heavily trying to just kick out my leggings because those are like I would say one of the last large pieces for like my dancing regalia.
uh-huh.
And then like we do music videos whenever he needs us. So we kind of leave a space open for when he's like he calls us out and we go out there and it's really fun to do that. And then photography with Kevin. My That's the name of my photographer. He
Uh-huh.
owns KGE Photography. And so we work on projects consistently. And me and him are definitely like two peas in a pod when it comes to like ideas and because even then, even photography is a form of art as well, right?
Yeah.
So supporting in what he does, trying to make time for that. So we do tons of stuff, and then the hobbies is like the tattooing, like the drilling the pieces when I have time. But right now we're really heavily on a dentilium cape and then leggings.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you are constantly on the go. And this is something I asked most of the entrepreneurs I've had on. What is your downtime? Like, do you have downtime or you just go from the time you wake up to, and if you do, what do you do to relax or kind of just chill out?
Um, yes, I have. I try to make sure I have days where I'm just kind of like I will pre-record and preset like my photos and stuff, so that way I could just push them out. And then on my off days, I love baths. I love like bath bombs, face
Oh,
masks,
yeah.
um, hand masks. I have them all over. Like I have cucumbers on my eyes, and you can't. You don't even know who I am for like 3 hours.
I love that. Self-care is so important.
That's
Um,
what I like to do in my downtime.
that is so good. I love that. It's so important to take care of yourself and not work too hard. You're scheduling your content. Do you use an app or do you do in the app to schedule?
Well, I just do in the app. I just recently figured out like, okay, if I want to be consistent with this, there's going to be days where I can't get to content, right?
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the excuse me, a lot of the times I am debating on which one I do first. So I really am heavy. I love working out. I love dancing. I love walking, love running. Um, and I have a goal to try to get at least 10 to 20K steps a day. But if you think about that, that's a good amount of time you have to dedicate to get steps in. And then content creating, and then also finally getting to actually sit and create the actual items. So when I'm heavy on like a workout day, I'll just go in the app and I'll like pick out what I want for the day or schedule it for tomorrow, but I'll pick it out for the day. Just kind of put it in my drafts and let it hang out there. And then when I'm ready, post it. And then it's really nice.
Yeah, I have used the schedule once. And then when I was working for a company, I was their social media person. And I was looking at ways to like do it for like a few weeks. But a lot of the times that's like you have to pay for those apps and stuff. And so I think that's one thing that people don't understand is being an entrepreneur, there's all these different little ways to, you have to figure things out. What do you think is the most rewarding part of your art journey?
I would say the top three for sure is helping others look and feel their best. And then also like regalia, getting them back out there dancing is really rewarding. It's kind of like, wow, like they really wanted to wear my items and then they get to also do what they love. And I've seen my stuff at like festivals and concerts and it just I know like when you feel good, you look good, you do good. And then for me personally, I remember way before I even had my very first fashion show and I was still beading and I remember daydreaming. I remember daydreaming and seeing my stuff on like runways, but only in my head. I hadn't been anywhere yet. And I was just daydreaming. And that's probably why, like, when my stuff was like, are you still watching? I never noticed because I'm daydreaming or I'm manifesting. I don't know what, but I remember doing that in like the earlier, like 2021, 2022. And so then when I very first saw like a model wearing my stuff on the fashion show in Oklahoma, I remember actually crying. I cried and then I cried the next three fashion shows because it was such it was almost like a dream. It was almost something that I remember seeing and getting a flashback of me being in my office beforehand and then now seeing it on the runway. It's just a crazy, crazy nostalgic feeling, euphoric feeling.
I love that. Thank you for sharing because that's true. Nobody sees those little moments behind the scenes. We're only seeing like the people on the runway, but we don't get to glimpse into all the hard work you've put in to get your product there. So, yeah, that's so true. That's so beautiful. So, let's do the rapid fire questions. What's one art
Okay.
supply that you could never be without?
I would say my one art supply for sure is this D thread and bonded nylon. This one right here. I will go to the ends of the earth to find this. I searched everywhere when I couldn't saw it at a power stand and I like bought three of them because I was like, oh my gosh, because I was getting some for a while that were not the bonded kind. It was so hard to get for that year. I have no idea why, but yes, definitely this one.
I love that. Yes. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
If I could describe myself in 3 words, I would use creative, ambitious, and tenacious.
Yes, I think that is such a good reflection. Especially I think of you as the little girl trying to figure out the knots and why your beadwork was lumpy. That's definitely those 3 words. Okay. So what is your go-to hype song right now?
My go-to hype song right now is between, oh, I don't know who sings it. Well, oh my gosh, I shouldn't say that because it's actually No Diggity.
Oh, okay.
And
Shorty get down.
and then my second one is actually from the movie Sinners. It's the song where he sings "I Lied to You" by Miles Canton, and it's that really dope scene where he's showing like before and present day music and just kind of how it all evolved. Love that man's voice.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good song. I love that scene. I actually started crying because it just like connected me to like how you spoke about our ancestors, our future selves, our future family, and then who we are now in the present moment.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh, that was such a good scene. And I think that's like one of my top, I don't know, top 20 movies. It was such a beautiful, it was done so well. And they had the natives in the front in the first scene.
Yes, they were able to include so many different cultures in like one movie in less than like 3 hours. It was a good movie. It was my favorite.
Yes. Well, Snowy, where would you like people to find you on Instagram, TikTok, or where? Go ahead and share with us.
For sure. My Instagram is Snowy Baby with 4 underscores. My Facebook is Snowy Pretends Eagle, and then my TikTok is also Snowy Baby. Yeah, it's a Snowy Baby.
Okay, everyone, go check her out because you will be blown away. Her artwork is amazing. So, thank you for spending this time with me, Akahe Opala. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It was nice to meet you as well.
Baby got 'em open all over town.